Madam Speakers and members of the House, we all know, and the American people know, that the American economy is in a crisis. It's not that this bill in and of itself will fix the American economy, but this bill takes a major step to filling a huge gap, and that is the loss of spending at the local level among our school districts, our water districts, our cities, our counties, and our states. Why is that happening? Because they're hemorrhaging a huge loss. And over the next couple of years, over $2 trillion will be missing in economic activity. This is a bill that's designed to stimulate those local economies. In the education area, there's $56 billion that's available to local school districts for the rehabilitation, the repair, and the renovation of school buildings so that children will go to school in safe, well-lighted, modern facilities so that they'll be green. They can put in new heating systems, air conditioning systems, $600 million for new technologies so every school in this country will be connected to the best technology in the world. They'll be able to engage in curriculum that now is impossible for them. They can have modern labs. That's the promise of America in this one. And who will do those jobs? Local contractors, heating contractors, electricians, plumbing contractors, building contractors from our local communities who will hire other people in our local communities. That's what will happen with this legislation. That's the promise of this legislation. It will help school districts from keeping to lay off teachers. In a matter of a few weeks, California will start issuing its advanced pink slips to hundreds of thousands of teachers across this nation will be in the same situation. Now school districts will know that they're going to get $13 billion in Title I in IDEA money that will help them reduce the number of people who will be unemployed if we do nothing. If we do nothing, unemployment will continue, and we know that it will continue for the next few months. But we're trying to mitigate against the increased unemployment through school construction, through highway construction, through making sure the students can stay in college as their families are under pressure because of the loss of job, the diminished work hours, the loss of pay. We want to make sure that they can stay there. So we provide an additional increase in the Pell Grant. This is very important to this nation. It's very important to our students. It's very important that we have an opportunity to create, in this economic crisis, a 21st century education plan. You know, it's just amazing. We always hear that history repeats, and here we see it again. And if you go back and you look at Arthur Schletchinger's study of the failures of the Hoover administration leading up to the election of 1932, his book, The Crisis of Old Order, we see that today history is repeating itself. Today, when this country cries out to help this economy, to help America's families who are unemployed, who are losing income, who are losing jobs, President Obama stepped forth with the American Recovery Act. The Republicans stepped forth with saying no. That was reflected when Minority Leader John Boehner's instructions to his colleagues to oppose the bill, even as President Obama was traveling the Hill to meet with them and discuss this bill with them. They decided in advance of that meeting they would say no. Minority Whip Eric Cantor of Virginia has said that no is going to be the Republican strategy on this economic crisis. No is going to be their strategy, he said. The Republican national spokesman of late radio host Rush Limbaugh added that no is the strategy by asserting on the air that he wants President Obama to fail. Does he understand if President Obama fails that the American families lose income, they lose their jobs, and the crisis continues? And here we see the repeating of no. It was for President Hoover, in the midst of the Depression, with his policy that the federal government could do nothing to help this nation, and he was so wrong. He asked Will Rogers to think up a joke that would stop hoarding by the American public. He asked Rudy Valley, can you sing a song that would make people forget the Depression? I will give you a medal. He asked Christopher Morley, perhaps what this country needs is a good poem. Some poem to give us, and we don't need the legislation if you will give us a poem. I asked for 30 seconds.
I yield the gentleman 30 seconds.
This economic crisis will not be solved by a song, a poem, or a good joke. It will be solved by this Congress going to work with this new president to meet this crisis head on. It will be solved when we provide jobs in this country, when we free up the credit markets, when we force the banks to lend as they should be doing, and we provide this stimulus bill. All members of Congress should be very proud to vote aye on this legislation and yield to the cries and the needs of American families and workers.